Oh my goodness. I am exhausted. Oh my goodness, I am exhausted. I am tired. Lad, me tired. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm doing that thing that I tell people not to do. And I'm about to submit an application. Um, it's for a tech accelerator so that I can I'm like I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Uh no. And it's due 11:59 CST and it is now currently 11:58 EST. Um and I am at the point now where I'm like I don't give a fuck. Then give me a sentence to I finished it. I started working on it around probably like committed around 7. So it's been about 4.5 hours. It's been about 4.5 hours. So I'm gonna show you. We're gonna submit it together because I'm so tired. This is past my bedtime. You know, this is way past my bedtime. So I'm gonna show you what I'm submitting. Literally, I'm just gonna. All right, I think I'm solid here. Boom, I got everything. Yep, download PDF because I don't got it. Not today. Not today, Jesus. Not today. Okay. Let me. I'm trying to like add this stuff too while I'm also. Okay. How I going through this? I diss me, I do. All right, we're gonna share screen. Cool. All right, so we done. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, Lord. I live I can hear the church bells going right now. Like the whatchamacallit, the John that be there's things on this page that I needed to complete. Oh, okay. I need a one-liner. Once I click submit, because okay, so this program that I'm applying for, I'm doing it so that I can get help with the MVP of the product that I'm creating. I'm developing a web-based app to help people win grants. So like you can, put in the URL of a grant you're applying for, and then it'll give you the strategy on how to win it. Okay. Boom. That's what we're gonna do. All right. Founding year. Let me fill this all in. All those answers. I'll probably tomorrow go over. Okay, I don't have no equity. I ain't got no grants. And I ain't got no. Okay. I agree. Usually, how did I hear about this? I be finding these opportunities from every direction. Um, yeah, we going listen, everybody right here. Yeah, anybody who's on here right now gonna be with me when I click submit. So if y'all see me in Austin, Texas, going for 150K in venture capital, this is the moment that it happened at complete exhaustion. Write a response about how I heard about. Um, oh Lord. Okay. All right. Oh my goodness. The time has come. The time has come. Boom. Okay. All right. Ah. Da da da. Dear God, please align the opportunities in my path that is for me and give me comfort for the ones that are not. In your name, I say, submit. Oh my goodness. Oh. Um, there is no there is quite no sense of relief like the feeling of clicking submit at 11:59. Mm. Oh, I honestly didn't know if I'd do it. I honestly didn't know if I was gonna make it. But here nor there, I'm like, you know what? Did the best I could. I did the best I could. So I'm gonna show you what I submitted and and you let me know if you pick me. You know? I know I do gotta go to bed. I'm so tired. I'm so tired, man. Why they be having and I feel like they do it on purpose too. The fact that they be choosing 11:59 as the time for when you submit things, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that got to be because they really try and get us. But all right, so I had to answer a bunch of questions. And one of the things too is that I used the platform that I have to help inform the questions so that I had the greatest chance of success. I did a lot of research on the funders and the people involved and stuff like that. So the platform is called Win Grants. Uh, and this particular accelerator program focuses on underrepresented founders, which is why everything that I got going on is focused on Black business. 96% of Black businesses are solo entrepreneurs, like myself, and we don't got the funding. And it exists. It's just the access to compete for it is a little bit different because most people just don't understand how to actually apply for a grant. you know Unfortunately, people will sell you like grant lists, and it's like people will go to apply, they deal with rejection, they're like, oh, I don't want to apply anymore because I didn't win. But it's like, but do you know how to win? Do you know how to structure it so that you have the greatest chance of success? So that's why I created this platform focused on grant strategy instead of just like grant discovery. or like helping you. This isn't necessarily about like writing the application for you, because at the end of the day, like, you are you, and your story is going to be so important to that application that there's no, at least that I've discovered thus far, there is no writing tool that's going to like give me the kind of responses that I'm not going to have to like really put my time and energy into. There's just no way. Even if like, because I use AI in every part of my process, but like there's no platform that's really going to do that. This is the cost right now, the investment tiers. I just really be making up pricing, because TBH, I feel like I know that I have a really good product, but I also know that there are pieces of this product that I just don't fully understand, right? Because this is my first time developing a SaaS company, in pricing and marketing and all those kind of things like that. So I'm trying to price it into a point where people like me could afford to actually use the software, but then I also have to acknowledge how much it's going to take to build it, and the type of intelligence people are going to be able to get and use, for the platform. And then there's like a competitive analysis across all the other different platforms that you can order, which is a really common thing when it comes to pitch decks. Then we have the traction, which essentially is more talking to them about how the market is already showing that this is something that people want to use and things like that. So that's the revenue that I've just kind of made off of like products, over the last month. I've been like kind of doing this particular industry full time. We currently have 82 people signed up for the wait list. So if you're not signed up for the wait list, be sure to either go to the link in my bio or wingrants.io and sign up for the wait list, so that I can show people that like, okay, yeah, there are people who are actually interested in paying for this platform and getting this platform. I've grown over 35,000 followers, and 1.2 million views in the last 30 days, just talking about these opportunities and how to win capital. Then they asked for like market. So like, how are you going to go to market? How are you going to build awareness for your product? And what's crazy is that I try to articulate that Win Grants, like the platform that I'm building right now, I started building it 10 days ago, right? I started building it 10 days ago. And sometimes like I have to say to myself, I'm like, yo, Queen it, like like I started building this product 10 days ago, and not only do I have the landing page, a prototype, and oh, thank you on the congrats. Uh, the application is in. I did it. I clicked submit. Um, but the landing page is built, the prototype is designed and functioning. I've opened up the wait list. I have over 80 people who have signed up and registered for the wait list, and then I've also done demos of the product with institutions and people who could really use it, like professors at universities. I was talking to some folks over at Black Girl Ventures, like the grants for creators. Tomorrow I'm meeting with a grant writing firm, and it's like, again, 10 days. So it's like, I know that there are people who are interested in using it, and I just got to figure out a way to really get to market, and with AI it could happen quickly. How do you make schedule to make all of these deadlines? Insanity. I am so tired. It is 12:11 a.m. right now, and I was up because I was trying to get to this thing done at 11:59. Um but in terms of like deadlines, I apply to opportunities that are fiercely aligned with what it is that I'm building at the time. So, because of that, it's very different than when like I was applying for opportunities maybe like a year or two ago, because back then it was kind of like, all right, I'm a kind of spread it out. The other thing too is that like a lot of the things that I like, let's say if it was 2 years ago, a lot of those grants had very similar questions, had very similar, once you start applying, they all like ask very similar things. So it wasn't so bad keeping with deadlines, because you had like, I could just replicate something, you know what I mean? And then I'm also neurodivergent. So, when deadlines are my method of execution. What? I need there's absolutely I live within the Parkinson's law. right? And if you don't know what that is inside of the chat or whatever, it's the idea that you allot as much time as you have to whatever it is that you're going to do. So if someone gave me 2 years to do something, I'm gonna take all 2 years. If you gave me 2 hours, I'm gonna take 2 hours to do it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you used to keep track of the deadlines, girl. They got to keep track of me. I'm out here. I'm holding on by a thread, a thread. But the stuff that I do, you know what I'm saying? The stuff, yeah, 2 minutes and I'm hitting submit. Listen, it is 12:12 right now, and this application was due at 11:59. By the time it was like maybe 11:36, I was like, anytime I was like, fuck it, whatever, whatever's on the page, because I'd rather get something than, you know what I'm saying? Because the problem with me is that I'm a perfectionist. I overthink things. I overthink so much that I've developed an entire platform so I could try to stop thinking as much. You know what I mean? So, but the problem with overthinking is that when you're writing an application, you're constantly having to, reassess it, change it, not realizing. And I'm sure this is the case with so many of you out there, is that what you do, you're so good at what you do, you don't even recognize that your mediocre is somebody else's mastery. Like what you do that's just the bottom of the barrel is going to excite somebody else. And I have to kind of keep that into perspective, you know? I would rather, because at the bare minimum, I mean, they already got access to like my social media pages, they have access to my website and stuff like that. So, it'll be, I just need the application decent enough that they are interested in learning more about me and the product that I have. So the other thing that was inside of here in the presentation, they were asking about why now. Super important whenever you're doing these opportunities is that it's what are you doing, who is it going to impact, and why is it important to do that now, right? And people be forgetting that last part because they're just like, oh, I want money or I want to do whatever it is I'm doing. You're forgetting the most important part, because if there are 100 other people asking for an application and one of them, right, has an application where their problem or product is going to solve like drinking water for a village, it's going to sound more important. You know what I mean? And they're going to fund it simply on urgency. They're going to fund this simply on urgency. So you have to start talking about why is this important right now, right? And then make them a part of the like a result, the impact that's going to happen. Make them responsible for it. So the reason why I think this is important right now is because the workforce is shifting. I've been a solo entrepreneur for the last 6 years, but I'm not going to be alone very soon. People are getting laid off from their jobs in multitudes. The future of the workforce is going to change. Now, we don't necessarily know what it's going to look like, but right now it appears that entrepreneurship is going to be the dominant form of how we work. We're going to have to exchange skills, in order for us to build capital, because so many other things are going to be automated. This platform is also possible because AI made it possible. The fact that I could aggregate and research data in a large volumes very quickly is because of the time that we're in right now. And then that capital gap is getting worse, because those people who are losing their jobs, not only are they in industries that are a bit more well off like tech, right, because software engineers and things like that, but it's also going to be like the manual labor, right? The labor of, people who look like me. And that wealth gap is going to get worse over time, especially with like federal funding and slashes and all those kind of things. Of course, there's a slide in here about me. My happy ass is inside. You know what I'm saying? I swear, yo, and I'm gonna keep doing this as I start building this company. Like, I want to be, the kind of like founder that, like, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna be on like Gary V kind of. Just want to wear t-shirts and you know what I'm saying, my fit. I don't know. I gotta go through that phase before I start leveling up. Like, how 50 Cent done went from the white beaters and now he wearing suits all the time. I'm gonna take some time to get there. I'm gonna wait until like my late 40s or something like that. Between now and then, I'm chilling. You feel me? I'm about to I'm about to be, I don't know who's a good example like that, but I'm just gonna be, this is literally my uniform. Black t-shirt, and I'll change the glasses every once in a while. And strategy exists. I'm ready to pitch it. So this was the so that was the pitch deck that I sent in with the application, and they also wanted a one pager. I was like, "What? You want both?" They said they wanted the it was like, "Yo, yeah, we want to things and the one pager." I was like, "God damn, like y'all really wanted all the facts. Y'all want all the facts and figures. Y'all ain't messing with y'all ain't gonna let me slide for nothing." They want all the information. Um, so where is this thing at? I'm gonna show you the one pager that I got going on. I'm gonna need a gamma for the year end report and was honored. Do I do sponsorships? I do it all. I don't care how it comes to me. I don't care how it comes to me. I use the abilities that I have to persuade and influence whoever has resources um to complete the activity that I am trying to do in my life. That's what I got for you. You know, that's how my life operates. So, it's certainly not just grants. I only really honestly, it's called Win Grants, but I used it to help me get this accelerator program. You know what I mean? It's and I say grants because a lot of people just don't know how all the other stuff functions. They don't know how sponsorships functions or fellowships or residencies. They like, wait, what? How do I even? It's so many things on the basis that if I just say grant, they'll just understand. Um, oh, you suck at donation campaigns. That sounds like a marketing thing, though. Donation campaign grants. um, yeah, you might have to hop into one of my what do you call that? The group coaching because there's probably some context that I'm missing. There's layers to what you have going on, and one of the things that I do in particular is that I'm the kind of person who's trying to find the unique way in order for me to achieve the goal, right? So if you're out here trying to do something, whatever it is, if you're trying to do something creative, or if you're trying to build a business, or if you're trying to prove something to somebody, there's probably a lane that you're thinking about doing it in. Like, okay, I need help doing donations, and that's what I want help doing, or I want to make an album, and that's what I want help doing. If you come to talk to me, I'm not going to think like that, because I'm going to take a moment to say to myself, what is another way to achieve what you want without doing it the way that you think you have to do it, if that makes sense, because that's where you're going to be able to get the innovation from, so I've been able to help people, like, you're like, oh, they're a music artist and they want to put together a showcase, and they're like, yeah, I want to like put together a showcase, I need sponsors or whatever for the showcase. But I'm like, all right, cool, you can go for sponsorships, but they were smaller, they didn't have like a big following and stuff like that. But I was like, all right, well, what about community organizing? And they was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Yeah, you like let's angle this as a community organizing event. And in that way, if you do something like that, now we can go for local grants. Now we can go for this other thing." And they'd be like, "Oh, I didn't even know that was," because it's like when you are trying to do something, it's just and it's no fault to anybody, but it's just like when you're building something, it's almost like, oh, this is how you're supposed to do it, or that's the way that it's supposed to look, up until you talk to somebody who can give you some level of like, wait, have you looked at it from this angle? Um, I have two nonprofits trying to get the county to do a community revitalization investment authority. That sounds like a lot of syllables. That was so many syllables. Do you know what time it is? Are you on a different time zone? You have so many syllables for this time of night. Oh my goodness. Um, is really you're here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm about to say. I'm about to say, I'm like, you have to be, it has to be a different time where you are. That was so many syllables. What time is it in PST? Yeah, 9:22. Yeah, it's not even my bedtime yet over there. Y'all probably still got sun. um, oh, shout out to India. Yo, 10 a.m. Oh, see, everybody in this. Oh my goodness, everybody in this chat is just up, just yeah, just bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Um, but yeah, it's really about unlocking opportunities, you know? And that's we're gonna have to start getting like that because, capital is going to get harder to find. And I don't want to say harder to find in the sense that it's like there's a lack of it, but I mean harder to find because if you don't know how to look for opportunities, it's going to be harder to find them. Once you know how to look for opportunities, it's almost like the abundance around you just unravels. There's no part of my spirit, like whether or not I get into this like accelerator program I applied to, I there's no part of my spirit that I won't be in one. Because literally as I was applying to this accelerator program, I got two more that showed up in my automation feed. you know it just can't they come. You know what I mean? They come, they just show up, and they show up in ways where it's like I'm like I could look at something, and even though it doesn't directly say, oh, this is for you know Queena and what Queena does, I can look at an opportunity and say to myself, well, how can I make this for me? How can I mold and position myself so that I can acquire this? Because you also have to understand that if you find an opportunity that does not fit you directly, right? Let's say it's not like 100%, but you got a few things. Here's the caveat. If you have a few of those things and you offer your unique perspective, you're going to set yourself apart. You're going to set yourself apart. You're going to change the game just like that. That's how you're going to be able to do it. That's how you're going to be able to be innovative, you know? That's how you're gonna be able to be innovative. The reframe is key. It's so key that I feel like that's if I spent any amount of time teaching anything, it will probably be on reframe. That is like that is 99.9% of what happens inside of my consulting calls. Which by the way happens on Friday. I think I have maybe a slot, maybe one or two slots left. Um so check that out at the link in my bio if you want to join my group. Super small. I think I only put in like 4 or 5 people so that like I can really answer everybody's questions. But um that's that's key. That's absolutely key. All right, so let me pull up, where was I at? I was on the yeah. Oh, you was in the wait, hold up. Eternal Flag. What's You might have to tell me your name, Eternal, because I remember everybody who been in there. I'm like, I remember everybody, so but yeah, nah. Mind you, every single group call that I've had went great. Nadia, hey, what's up? There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh, you applying OSV. Yeah, and you be the first black woman to win. First person of color. If you know what I mean? So just letting you know. Just letting you know. Um but yeah, that's really about the game because it's like if I can help somebody like if I can unlock like the way that somebody views an opportunity, that's like that's honestly the barrier. That's the barrier because people don't recognize that your beliefs are the boundaries of the reality that you live in. So whatever your thoughts are, that's the boundaries of the reality that you live in. And if somebody can come to you with something that opens up that barrier, you're going to see whatever you're looking at differently. And once that happens, it's like, oh, you know, once that happens, that's it, you know. Oh, word. So that dashboard, by the way, and it's crazy because you came in before I even made Wind Grants, but I was using those dashboards for myself, right? To help me win opportunities. And then when I showed it to, I showed it to somebody else who was in one of the calls, and every single time they're like, "Oh my God, what is that's like you're giving me the game." And I was like, "Oh wait, hold up. This can mean something." And then now that's what I'm building. It's crazy because you saw it before I even built it. When I was showing it to you, it was just something I was using to help me win. And now I'm building a platform called Win Grants. I don't know if you got the link, but please sign up for the wait list so that you can get early access to the platform. It's also at the link in my bio. But I'm building that, I'm systematizing that process so that like I can really dial in the intelligence. Yeah. Oh, I appreciate that. He was like, "Yo, that's what I'm talking about." I need to systematize it because now it could be on something where it's like it goes from just helping me to like helping anybody who's going for their applications. Because one, I can't win everything. I'm not going after every one of these opportunities. And also it's about creating leverage. Everything we do now has to be about leverage. Like I used to apply for grants and things like that consistently. I made a lot of money doing it. I was able to survive for 6 years, being able to just apply for grants. The thing about grants though is that when you apply for a grant, you do a project, and what happens when it finishes? You have to do another project and apply for another grant. So it was just a constant cycle of me trying to keep up, you know what I mean, with whatever it is I was doing, planning opportunities, whatever the case may be. And I'm 33 now. So I want to get to a point where I don't have to do that. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be able to create some stability. Like, isn't that what we all want? Some level of like being able to know what this looks like for us. And the thing is that with so many, and it's not just grants, I'm applying to everything. So like, let's say this accelerator, they wanted a one pager. So I kind of just put in here, right? So Win Grants, and this is the what I'm gonna show you this real quick too, and so that you have a better understanding about how I wrote this. The what we do section. Win Grants is an AI powered grant intelligence platform powered by Intelligence, a proprietary methodology that transforms funder data points into strategic insights. Users input a URL or an RFP, and the tool analyzes past awardee selections, social media, news articles, podcasts, and language signals to reveal the patterns of a winning application. The delivered report gives users alignment scoring, storytelling frameworks, narrative positioning, and competitive insights so they can apply with precision in under 90 seconds. That is what we do. That is what we do. And then the problem. So, and for this particular application, right? So I did a few things here too when I talked about the research time. So one of the key points that I put up is that the research time reduction. So typically it takes a solo founder 40 hours to complete an application, and now it's 40 hours to do the research on an application, and then now it's 90 seconds. That is a 1.600% times in time reduction. Please join. Please join. I don't know if I'm going to do it the week after, and I also be honest with you. And and whenever I say this, I don't want you to think this is a marketing strategy, because it's more so on my time commitment for the platform. But I don't know how long I'll be doing the group calls, because I like doing them because they are in an affordable way for people to have access, and I'd be able to talk to like people who are probably operating like I am. But I also know that like uh with the work that I'm doing now, I'm working with nonprofits more to do their strategy, and they got bread. So I might be shifting a little bit. Okay, but this application, the focus, because this was for under resource founders, my focus was a lot on Black owned businesses. I didn't even know some of these stats when I was going through it, but I started learning a lot more too. And that's the benefit of applying for applications. Um, what do you think is the loss of integrity in the research from using AI, like in the analysis? So, I think that so we have to come off the gate by saying that AI could always be wrong, right? So there's always this level of, being able to vet whatever intelligence that you're getting. In terms of the platform that I'm building, I do have a data confidence score that I incorporated into the reports. And then data confidence is, is from 0 to 100, and it can tell you whether or not like we believe that this data has been verified. Now, in terms of like the research aspect, the thing is that it's if any of the research is, and I'm gonna like really hold accountability for this, if any of the research is leading people in other directions, it's more so because I am informing the prompts. You know, I'm informing what I want, how I wanted to analyze the data. It's not just doing it on its own. Like if you created a dashboard, right, that you have right now, it's not going to look like mine. And the reason it's not going to look like mine is because I have spent that time telling it, you know what I mean, how I feel about things, or what I perceive this to mean, and how certain words, lend to this thing or whatever. So it's also informed by certain books that I've read, some even like some like studies of human psychology. Um so all those things like that. That's so it informs that. So that's why I said that. So that's why I'm like, to some extent, like it's not 100%. And at the end of the day, this is an inference, period. It's just an inference. But you got to think of it like this, right? We can say to ourselves that like whether or not the integrity of the AI is right, but let's say, because what I'm doing is almost no different than what Facebook or Instagram does to send me content that they know that I'll like. There's a reason why Instagram knows what I like. It knows what I like based off of the data it has already collected on me. It knows what I talk about based on the words that I put in my caption. It knows the kind of values that I share based off of the things that I watch. So and it can almost measure me with precise accuracy about what it is that I want to see. It's not always right, but it does very well at doing that. What this platform is almost doing the exact same thing, right? The exact same thing of how like ads work. You know what I mean? I'm just applying that logic to opportunities. I'm just applying that logic to the funder. Because if I can find a funder and this funder has podcasts on YouTube, all right, well, if you have podcasts on YouTube, I can take all of those podcasts on YouTube, transcribe all of them, and then be able to understand what you talk about, you know what I mean, in your podcast. Oh, do you talk about ownership or value? What do you represent? What do what things frustrate you? Because you can easily say in a podcast 2 years ago that like, yo, I really don't like this be happening or whatever, and I can pull that data out, you know what I mean? And then be able to be like, oh, okay, so that's something that we could relate on, or that's something that, you know what I mean? That's exactly what they're doing with me. So if they gonna use it with me, I might as well, some advantage. Some advantage. Now the thing is though, is that Wind Grants is going to be a SaaS platform, which basically means you subscribe to be able to use it. But currently there are no people who are subscribed because it's not open. It's just a prototype right now. It's a functioning prototype, not the best. It's still got bugs and stuff like that. But because of course, the use of AI, I'm able to create something that can really work. But what I did, since I didn't have revenue for the product and they were looking for people who had revenue, I decided to focus the revenue on what I was making with the consultations and with selling the narrow intelligence reports. That dashboard that I showed you, I've been selling those. like one off, as a way to prove that people would be interested in purchasing, that data, because I've made it for people who are like, oh, they'll be like, oh, I'm going for this grant. Can you get me a report? And I'll pay you so that you can, so that you can show me how to win. And I'm like, I bet, I bet. So, yeah. Right now I'm still working out the business model because I'm like, I'm not, this is my first go at, um, Lord, this is my first go at creating a product. But so my main customers is solopreneurs. That's how I started off the platform. And I say started as if it hasn't been 2 weeks, but I have been getting a lot of feedback that people are like, "Yo, you got to think about nonprofits." Because nonprofits have budgets for this. Like they have literal, budgets for software like this. And the thing about it is that I just don't want to price out the solopreneur. I don't want to price out somebody like me who's like just really ambitious and would like use this to their advantage for real. So I just got to figure out how I'm going to be able to do that, because at a nonprofit pricing, it's more like $150 a month, and that's a bill for real. Even $50 is a lot of bread. But like, but at the same time, if you're, competing for this application, and then you're going for $10,000 or something like that, you Gucci. Yo, what up, Nick? I am so tired. You know what it is? It's because everybody in my audience is from somewhere else. I got people from India who joined the chat. I got people in Cali. Y'all all in some different time zones. Y'all all awake and alive. It's almost 1 a.m. I'm exhausted, but I did it. I got the application in for the accelerator. Um, and I love doing these applications, not only just because it's like you get to put like the battery in the back. Oh, you in Canada. Okay. Uh-huh. You see what I'm saying? I feel like everybody I talk to is not here. I don't know what happened with my content that I was just reaching. I was just reaching everybody for everywhere else. But one of the things I really do love about applying to, some of these opportunities, and I'm more strict on it just because of my time right now. But when I apply to opportunities, I like doing it because it helps me understand the product more. It helps me understand what I'm building more, because I have to ask myself, okay, what is my company roadmap? What are my goals? Guaranteed that if you fill out an application, they're going to ask you questions that you haven't already thought about the answers to. Guaranteed they're gonna ask you those questions. And it's so useful to complete these applications, because the more you write about your story is the better you're gonna be able to get at telling it. The better you're gonna be able to get at telling your story is the greater chance you have a success of writing a narrative that's going to move a funder to say yes. It's all connected. It's all interconnected, you know? Um So yeah, this accelerator, I think the application, I don't even know. It was 11:59 CST, which I think was maybe 1 a.m. It might be 1 a.m. I don't really know. It might be 1 a.m. I feel like the last video I did was super fire, but it didn't land the way that I thought it would. And I don't know if it was because it was nice outside today. I'm gonna redo that same video with a different hook. I'm gonna redo that video with a different hook. I'm turning off my alarm too. Well, let me turn off my alarm now, because I'm waking up when God tells me tomorrow. I'm waking up when God tells me tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm chilling. And I did a lot today. I'm competing for the World Championship of Public Speaking, and I had to finish my draft because I have a meeting with my speech. Like tomorrow is all meetings. Literally, it's a day of meetings. Which is why I'm kind of like, all right, I might be okay to like just not be I could be half alive right now, because I think my meetings start around 1 though. You know, I'm doing a demo of the product that I'm creating right now, and then I'm going to go into marketing strategy. again, for my content and for the product I'm building right now. And then I have an hour with my storytelling coach, and that's when we're gonna go over the speech because my next round for the world championship is next weekend. And then I'm gonna probably go for a bike ride, and then I have my group call at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. And this weekend, I'm so souped because I got my Lego set delivered. I have 2 Lego sets, okay? So, you're not gonna see no content, you're not gonna see no stories, you're not gonna see me. I am going to vanish, and I am going to be a little armadillo inside my bedroom making my Lego sets. That's what Imma be. Imma be a little armadillo. Yeah. There's a whole lot of beef with AI. Anytime I see beef with AI, initially I was getting a little quiet, but I say initially as if it like as if we're not still in the initial. I always be talking like this been around for decades. You know what I'm saying? Be like, oh, at first I was like, I always be seeing people be talking about AI or whatever, and I'm just like, I went to an event like to help grant like it was literally people who were helping like grant writers and stuff like that. And this woman in the back had asked a question to the person who was hosting the event. It was a leading question where they were asking like, "Hey, how is AI ruining creatives' ability to apply for opportunities?" And I was looking like I was a little I don't know. I don't know about that one, as I was like right behind her, whereas like literally this was maybe the day after I had created the prototype for Win Grants. And I was like, I am like that. I don't know. I'm not that artist. I'm not that artist. And I had made a mention on somebody's post that I had saw too, because they were like saying some stuff about it. And I was like, um, you know, there's so many people who's like, I hate this thing. And I'm like, nah. You know what it is though? I think that the reason I'm so interested in using AI is because, I'm a solopreneur. I run my entire business myself. You feel me? I'm the accountant, the marketing director, the legal team, the customer service. You know what I'm saying? Like when you wear so many hats, the just the possibility of, relief in these places is crucial, because it removes the pressure. It releases energy in spaces that I no longer have to carry, and that means a lot. Now, I always hear about the environmental effects of what this will do, you know what I mean? And I say always hear, but I always hear that it's bad for the environment. However, am somebody who lives from a place of ignorance, right? So I don't actually know how it's affecting. I just know that everyone keeps saying that like this is bad and it's going to like destroy the planet. You know what I mean? The thing is like because I don't know, I'm also gonna, I could say things and be like, is this even like is what I'm about to say even possible? But like if AI in my universe can dramatically shift, right? It's not destroying anything in my universe. In my universe, it's allowing me to build at an exponential rate. The fact that I was able to complete this application, create my websites, make me everything was built at an exponential rate. I can grow at a really strong rate. But like if it can grow at that rate, why couldn't it also be used to solve that very problem? Like if we if the climate issue can be solved for AI, would we be okay with it? Would we be all good? Would be like, oh, I bet the planet's gonna be good. You know, I do think, of course, there's some level of like, things that are just gonna affect people where it's like, oh, critical thinking, people be lazy, like, but I also think like it's also weird. It's one of them things where It's almost like, oh, well, back in the day, I had to go through all of this in order to learn how to do something, and now they could just do it in 2 seconds. They lazy, they ain't. And it's like, we gotta also, like, sit with the idea that many people function not with necessarily innovating, but making things more efficient and more accessible. That's what we're doing. That's what so many people have done with their lives, is make things more efficient. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. You know, that's really what I'm doing right now. And it's a grind. Anybody who applies for grants knows the feeling of it being, 11:59 and you out here trying to knock this thing out. Um, but it's always worth it. It's always worth it. I love doing these applications because I feel like every single time I complete an application, I understand who I am, what I do, who I serve, and how I could use my strategic understanding to help myself win, you know, to help myself win. And I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep doing that. Oh, oh. Oh, I'm exhausted. All right. It's about that time. Um, y'all already saw the submit. Hold on, where's my? Because I didn't even move from the screen. I ain't even moved from the screen because I wanted to hold on to it. You feel me? I wanted to hold on to it. Now we gonna add this one. Yeah, we did it, baby. We did it, baby. That's what I'm talking about. The response has been recorded. I wonder if they like really close at 11:59 though. Oh, see, it's still open. But what time is it though? Because it was a CST time. Oh yeah, it's 11:49. It's 11:49 CST. My body is telling me. My body is telling me. Okay. I just wanted to hop on because you know what? I'm actually gonna go for the hour though. I'm gonna go for the hour. Because I've been wanting to stream every day. I kind of don't know why. Or maybe it's because it just feels like it gives me energy. I feel like I get on the stream and I feel like I feel like it's just easier for me to stream than it is for me to be creating short form content, TBH. I mean, people watch my short form more than they watch my streams, but it just feels easier to stream because it's just stream of consciousness versus like when I go to create short form, I'll be like, oh, I ain't say that right or I ain't do that right. So I always got to reassess things. And that'd be annoying. That'd be so annoying. But I'm gonna show you guys what I got with the last few minutes here, whatever. This is the program that I applied to. This program is actually in Austin, Texas, and I'm on the East Coast. So I'm pretty sure it's a hybrid program. But they do have 2 in-person weeks, so I do have to go there for the kickoff, and I also have to go back for demo day, which I don't mind because I kind of want to. Austin is an area that has a lot of tech influence, so that's why I'm kind of interested in being over there because there's just a lot of energy for what it is that I'm doing, and I think that that's crucial. I really and this is something that I guess like just social media just doesn't know about me right now is that like prior to me growing as much as I've had over the last, 45 days, prior to that, I moved to a new city. I'm pretty much disconnected from all of the friends and relationships that I had in the past because I wanted to go all in on creating content, on, building a business, on gaining stability and getting closer to myself. I actually think these days uh I feel like a prerequisite to being friends with me is having gone through your hermit mode season. Like, if I go to talk to somebody and they haven't been through a period where it's like they were in complete solitude just trying to get closer to themselves, I just feel like we probably not gonna like we probably not gonna fully, I need the folks around me to have had been through some things where they had to, reassess, down to the molecular level, you know? That's the folks I want to be friends with. You feel me? It's very, what they say, be still and know that I am God. Yeah, that's the folks I want in my circle, you know? And I just feel like I'm not, and I'm open now to finding those people, finding those people who are doing what I'm doing, who are building, who are interested in supporting me. Like, um, yeah, I'm really interested in doing that because I'm a lone wolf. Yeah. I I actually put on the platform that this is for the ambitious and alone because this is it. This is me. This is my four walls, you know. These are my four walls. I'm in it every single day uh running this whole ship, trying to figure it out. Just trying to figure it out. And I ain't doing too shabby. I ain't going to hold you. I ain't doing too shabby. All right? The fact that I've been able to, and this is off of poetry. This is off of poetry. Like, people know me for the grants. They be like, "Oh yeah, you do the grants." I'm like, I was writing grants so I could spit poems, so I could travel the world rhyming. That's different, yo. That's different. And it's crazy because now that I'm actually like more people are gaining awareness about who it is and what I do, my story sounds so much more like unbelievable. It sounds so much more unbelievable because the things that I've done in my life is I don't even think I fully understand it. I don't even think I fully like value them. Like, I know them as credentials, but once you do something, your goal is just to do something again, to keep growing, to keep building, like, you know what I'm saying? Anybody who knows me in my life, anybody who has ever met me, one of the things that they be telling me is that, like, they just never worry about me. And I think they don't worry about me because they know at some point I'm going to figure it out or I'm gonna do something. I'm the kind of person who's gonna do something. It's like, it don't matter what's happening, do something. Be someone, you know? And yeah, it feels good being, I'm definitely the strong friend. They be looking at me like, nah, you gonna be fine. I ain't gotta worry about you. I'm sure you out here doing something, you know what I mean? What you doing now, And I'm also gonna show you guys real quick my the website that I just made for um my consulting firm. I'm still deciding whether or not I'm gonna do this though, because there's just like I got the grant stuff, but I'm trying to figure out like, am I gonna do consulting? Am I gonna focus on the SaaS? I'm kind of going all over the place. I'm trying to like, I'm a I'm gonna take it from both sides. You know what I'm saying? I'm a and let it go. All right. So last 60 seconds of the live. Um, I'm really proud of myself for getting this done because there were a few moments where I really questioned whether or not I was going to finish it. Um, I think that it's helpful to keep doing this because I'm able to refine that positioning and who this is for, and that's good. It makes me feel good to be able to do that, you know? Uh I'm gonna just switch to the full. It makes me feel good to be able to do that because I know that the more I have these conversations, the more I submit for these opportunities, the more I work on my narrative is the better I'll get at being able to tell my story to a point. Like I'm gonna dial this thing in so neatly that when I go to tell somebody about my product and what I'm building, they're going to immediately, I'll be able to do it in less than 60 seconds, you know what I'm saying? Or less than 10 seconds. For my strategy, my one line is I hope you write stories that make funders say yes. Are you interested? Like that's the type of like when I be talking to people about that 23-second sell, you gotta get whatever it is that you trying to pitch to somebody quick in a hurry. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. If you are an artist, if you a business, if you're a nonprofit, you gotta get that pitch tight because the whole purpose. I was talking to somebody one time. I went to an event and I was like, "Oh, you gonna pitch?" And they was like, "Oh, nah, I can't do it in 90 seconds. I need more than that." And I was just like, "Why?" And this man proceeded to tell me every feature that his product had. And I was like, "Oh, that's why you need all that time because you want to onboard me. You not trying to pitch me, you trying to onboard me. You want me to know every single thing this does. And then you believe that if I now know everything that your product does, I will then be convinced to do it. Because I don't know if you realize that the only thing I'm convinced to do now is walk away from you. You lost me. You been lost me. That's not the purpose of a pitch. The purpose of a pitch is to get somebody to lean in and say, "Tell me more." They are supposed to be curious. They are supposed to be curious. That's the whole point. If I go to have a conversation with somebody and they're like, "Yo, what do you do?" I help people tell stories that make funders say yes. Oh, you do? I need, you know what I'm saying? Like, because then it's more like, oh, wait, hold up. Let them ask you questions. Let their curiosity come into play and get sparked, you know? And storytelling is, I think it's is going to become a far more common conversation in the coming years because stories is what's going to be able to differentiate you in a way that like AI is just so bad at doing right now. So everybody be talking about, yo, how you feel about AI writing or whatever. It's like AI just isn't the best at telling stories, not like human centered stories, you know? Like my responses that I wrote, like I had to like drive that. You using this on some like grammar or something like that, but AI wouldn't have wrote what I wrote because it wouldn't have thought the way I thought, you know? I'm like, nah, I want to sprinkle this here and do this here, you know? So, all right. Well, it is officially 1 a.m. I am now 3 hours past my bedtime. I already turned off my alarm because tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up when God tells me to. But whoever is in here, I truly do appreciate for you logging in because it is folks like you who who make it all possible. So I appreciate you. Wish me luck on this accelerator program because once I get into this program, I'll be able to build a product that is going to completely revolutionize the way people use grants. Good night or good morning.